another Teaching Tuesday episode on Eat to Be Healthy TV. Today's topic is part of our Best and Worst series where we help you navigate through the complicated world of food. Today's video is going to focus on an American classic, the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Most of us like the PB&J in one form or another, so today we're going to help you make a healthier version of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So let's get started. The classic American peanut butter and jelly sandwich has 3 ingredients: bread, peanut butter, and jelly. Easy peasy, right? But it's very easy for us to choose alternatives that are a little bit healthier because sometimes the choices that we make are not so great. So we're going to go through the first ingredient, which is bread. So bread, there are a lot of choices on the market and it can be so confusing. So this choice is white bread, and we've all been told that white isn't necessarily the best choice. But one of the things that's specific about this bread, and we've all kind of heard the hype lately about with Subway, how they had an ingredient in there, it's called ADA, and it's actually used to make shoe rubber and to make yoga mats. And yes, it is in some of the loaves of bread. So specifically it's in this loaf of bread, but there's hundreds others. And you can go on the website and we have a link to an article that shows you all the different brands that have that ingredient in there. And you want to stay away from it because it's been banned in many countries. Over 50 countries have banned that specific product. And who wants to eat a product that's used to make yoga mats anyways? So that's one reason I would stay away from something. So remember, it can be really tricky. It's a really long word and one that I can't pronounce. So go to the website, but it's short. On the ingredients, you'll also see it as ADA. So you want to look for that in your bread. Another one that is often people love is the classic Wonder Bread. And so one of the problems with this bread is that there's a whole lot of ingredients that you can't say in here. My philosophy is if you can't say it, don't eat it. But sometimes that's really hard. But in here there's hundreds of ingredients. But you want to look at anything that sounds like a chemical. And so below this video you'll see a list of some common things that you want to look out for, just as a quick reference, because I can't even pronounce them, so I'm not even going to bother. So that's one thing to look at. Another one that's really popular is the whole grains, or 100% whole wheat. A lot of people think that when they're choosing that, they're choosing better option. And it is a better option than the white, because white flour processes differently in our body than a whole grain or a whole wheat. So you want to look for a whole grain instead of a whole wheat. It's a lot better for you. But what happens sometimes when people buy a whole grain bread is it has a lot of other ingredients that we really don't need. So for example, in this bread, it has water, sugar, wheat gluten, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But one of the things I want to kind of focus on is the cellulose fiber. A cellulose fiber is made out of wood, and unless it says differently on the package, then you can expect that it's made out of wood. I don't know about you, but I don't want to eat anything that comes from wood. So that's just something to keep in mind. There's also a lot of other ingredients in here that are similar in some of these, and it also has a lot of sugar in here. So that might be not the best choice. So if we're looking at these ones, this one would be a horrible choice. You don't want to ever choose that one. This one would be a terrible choice. And although it is better than this one, it is not a good choice. One of the other things about this one it has in here is sucrose. And sucrose is also known as Splenda, which is an artificial sweetener. We want to stay away from artificial sweeteners as much as possible. So horrible, terrible. And this one is not so hot. It's a lot better choice than horrible and terrible, but it's still not a great option. So we're going to give you some better options. So here, this one is doing okay. This one is a spelt bread, so it doesn't have the white flour issue. It doesn't have a lot of other ingredients, so it's great. Even on their packaging it says, made with stuff you can pronounce. And so that's one of the pluses of this type of brand, is that you want to choose something that the ingredients are things that you can say. This one is also organic, which these ones you notice back here are not. And so that's also a good choice. So Rudy's, there's a couple other brands that are similar to that, but the key is you want to look at the ingredients and see if you can say those things. So this one here is one of my favorites, doing pretty dang good. I like this one a lot, and you can see it has a lot of seeds. So if you're not a big fan of seeds, Ezekiel brand makes a lot of different types of it. I think they make like 7 different ones. They have cinnamon bread, they have grain, they have a whole bunch of other choices. So if you're not a big seeds fan, then you have options. This one is great because if you look at the ingredients in here, it's everything that you need. It doesn't have any sugar, it has sprouted quinoa, filtered water, sprouted wheat, brown rice. It's got everything you need without all the extra stuff. It's also organic, although it doesn't state in here anything about non-GMOs, so that's something that you want to look out for, but this is one of the better choices. And it's actually a really popular brand, so this is doing pretty dang good. This one is pretty freaking awesome. And the reason why I love this one is because it's organic, it's non-GMO, all the ingredients I can say, and it's also gluten-free. So for some of you that have gluten sensitivity, this is a good option. And a lot of times there's a couple other brands on the market that are gluten-free, but if you read the ingredients in there, they have a lot of stuff that you don't want. So sometimes being gluten-free doesn't necessarily mean it's the best option. In this case, this is a really good option. So if you can see, it's got water, it's got sugar, ground chia seeds, husks, yeast, sea salt, and that's what you want. Vinegar, you want all the kind of the basics, things that you can pronounce. So remember, it only takes 4 ingredients to make bread: water, yeast, salt, and flour, and that's it. So all that other stuff is just added extras that you don't need. So you want to try to keep it simple. Making bread at home is always the best option, but a lot of us don't have time to do that. So these options here up front are better. So this is doing okay. This is pretty dang good, and this is pretty freaking awesome. So if you have a choice when you go to the grocery store, and we all do, then try to choose these ones. There's some other brands out there that are also really good. The key to it is reading the ingredients, and if you can say it, you should eat it. If you can't say it, it shouldn't go in your body. So let's move on. Another option, if you're not hung up on the bread and you like, let's say, tortillas, or what else has been popular lately is that really thin kind of bread. That's become really popular. But another option that you can do is you can put it in a tortilla if you buy a really good quality tortilla, which we'll tackle on another episode. But you can also use one of these superfood coconut wraps. These are a great choice too to make a PB&J. This is probably one of the best ways. If I had to choose, I would probably do this, but these are great if you want a traditional one. But this is a good option too, and you can roll it up like a wrap or a sandwich. So didn't want to leave that out because that's one of the best options too. Okay, so let's move on to peanut butter, the next ingredients in making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So most people are here and use Skippy. So if you look at the ingredients, it's roasted peanuts, sugar, hydrogenated vegetable oil, I can't even say it. It's cottonseed soybean oil, and that's used to prevent the separation, and salt. So as you can see, the only good thing really in here is the peanuts, and everything else is just added filling that you don't really need. The reason why they put the oil in there in that way is so it doesn't look like it's separated like some of these other brands. And that's just a matter of preference, but it's actually not healthy for you. We want to stay away from that as much as possible. So this would be a horrible choice. There's really nothing great about it. One of the other things that they've been trying to do is make better versions. And so it gets kind of confusing because you see on here omega-3. So people think we need omega-3s, and we do need omega-3s. But if you look at the ingredients in this brand, besides the peanut butter and the sugar, and it has lots of sugar because it has regular sugar, and then it also has molasses. It has the same vegetable oils as this, but then it also has anchovies, sardines, tilapia, gelatin, citric acid, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So you want to look out for things like this because it seems like it would be a healthier version, but it's really not because it has added things that you don't need. The omegas are good, but one of the things it has in here is gelatin, and gelatin is unnecessary to eat. And if you don't know, a lot of people might think, oh, this is a vegetable-based product. It's not. It's actually, it has fish in it, as I said, but gelatin is also made from animal products, and so it's always a good idea to know exactly what things are made out of. So I don't know about you, but when I eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I don't need anchovies and other fish products. So besides having the same bad ingredients that this one does, it also has things that you might want to think about, gelatin and stuff like that, that maybe you don't need. So I would say this is horrible, this is terrible, and this is not so hot. Now again, they're trying to make it a little bit better version, and as you can see, natural is listed on the label. And that gets very confusing for people because natural, they think natural, it's better for you. And when you look at it, it is better than these options, but it's still, the first ingredient is peanuts, the second is sugar, and then it has palm oil, and then salt and molasses. So the fact that it has sugar and molasses means that it has a lot of sweetener added to it, and that's stuff we don't need when we're having peanut butter. So it also has oil and it has salt. Those are things that extra stuff we don't need. So I would stay away from this. Remember, when you read when you pick up a product, you want to read from the back, not read from the front, because what they say on the front is not monitored, but what they say on the back, they have to list their ingredients. So they can say natural as long as one ingredient is natural. So you want to keep that in mind. So moving on to better options would be this one here. It's all natural, but it actually is natural. So if you look at it on the back, it's peanuts and contains 1% or less of salt. So it has no oil, no sugar. A lot of times people get scared by peanut butter like this because it has the oil on the top. All you do is stir it up once and then it will be fine. You stick it in the refrigerator and it gets hard just like the rest of these, and so you don't have that problem after you've used it once, but it can be a little bit intimidating at first. Most people don't notice that the sugar isn't there in that extra oil, once they start using it. So this is a really good option as well. This one is doing okay. One of the reasons why I don't prefer this brand is because it's not organic. And so we want to try to pick organic as much as possible. One of the other things to note about peanut butter is that peanuts cause inflammation in the body. So if we can use something better, we want to try to do that. And so another option would be almond butter. So almonds are way better for you than peanuts. And so if you can transition from peanut butter to almond butter, it tastes very similar, then that is a better option. If you can't, this brand makes a peanut butter as well that is organic. It's got the non-GMO verified label, and so it does have that peanut butter option. But we're talking, good, better, and best here. And in this one, this is doing okay, but this is pretty dang good. So we want to try to switch from a peanut butter to an almond butter. Again, the only thing that has in here, almonds. Doesn't have any salt, doesn't have any oil, doesn't have any sugar. It's just almonds. And so that is a really, really good choice. So the best thing though, if we can, is to make it at home. And as you can see, almond butter is really easy to make at home. You just need a blender, a little bit of water, and almonds, and you can make it at home and it lasts for a long time. Stick it in the fridge. You can also do that with peanut butter. If you want to make your own peanut butter at home, that's the best way to do it. You know exactly what's in it. You know you've done it yourself. It's made with love. So whether you're using almonds or using peanuts, making it at home is always the best choice. Okay, so let's talk jelly. So most people think that one of the better options would be, a sugar-free option. So Smucker's has come out with sugar-free option here, and most people think that's really good. There's some other brands that have come up with sugar-free options as well. This specific one, something that you want to look for is they use artificial sweeteners instead of sugar. Now on the scale of terrible and horrible, the worst thing is artificial sweeteners. You want to stay away from them as much as possible. They've been linked to a whole, plethora of diseases, and so you want to stay away from that as much as possible. So this one has, besides water, boysenberries, it has a whole bunch of things that I can't even say in here, but it has red dye, red 40, it's got a whole bunch of stuff, and it's got artificial sweeteners, so that is not a good choice. So sometimes that can be really tricky because you think you're making a good choice by picking the sugar-free option, but it's not necessarily better for you. The next one that we have here would be a terrible choice, would be the just plain strawberry preserves. One of the things that they use in here is high fructose corn syrup. Now we all know that high fructose corn syrup isn't good for you, but if you look at the ingredients in here, it's strawberries, high fructose corn syrup, sugar, and then it has a couple other things. So if you notice, there's a type of sugar is listed 3 times, which means it's mostly sugar, less fruit. So you want to really stay away from something that has that much sugar in it and high fructose corn syrup. We know that that's not good for your body. So this one, they've come out with Simply Fruit. So when you say Simply Fruit, in my eyes, that means just fruit. Unfortunately, it's not. And if you look at what it has in here, it's got a whole lot of sugar, same kind of thing. It's a better option than this option, but it's still not a good option. So if you were going this way, you'd go horrible, terrible, not so hot. You know, again, these options you want to stay away from as much as possible. So let's talk about what our good choices are. So this one here is an organic strawberry fruit spread. It's great because 1, it's organic, 2, it's sweetened with apple juice instead of sugar. These ones all have different sugar in a different form, and this is through apple juice, which is awesome, and it's organic. So this would be a great choice. It tastes really good too. You won't even know the difference. This one is also great because, again, it's sweetened with grape juice. It has strawberries. It also has some apples in it, but it's non-GMO verified and it's organic as well. So even though this organic one is really good, this one goes up to the next step because it's non-GMO verified. So that's another good option. And both of these taste really delicious. So, and then our last option is just straight berries. So organic berries. Now you can do raspberries, you can do strawberries, you can do boysenberry, whatever flavor you like. Putting it on your sandwich just fresh and raw like that is delicious. Now some people might not like it that way, but I'm going to show you a quick way where you can kind of make your own. It's quick and easy, and it's not going to take, it doesn't even take a blender if you don't want it raw that way. But if we had to look, you know, at a quick glance, so you would horrible, terrible, not so hot. This is doing okay, and this is pretty dang good. And then of course, just the fresh berries or fresh apples, whatever you choose, even bananas are really good. This would be pretty freaking awesome. So we want to use fresh and raw as much as possible. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to make the perfect peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's going to be quick and easy and really, really healthy. So first we're going to grab our bread. We're going to use the option Pretty Freaking Awesome, which was the gluten-free, organic, non-GMO chia bread that we had. And as you can see, these are small little slices. You can make these mini sandwiches. We're going to use the peanut butter here. It's actually almond butter, and that we made at home. And all you do to make the almond butter at home is almonds and a little bit of water. And so we like to use it chunky sometimes, so this is the chunky one. You can blend it longer in the blender and it makes it creamy if you want. So easy peasy. Now we're going to make our own jelly. Now again, the store-bought versions, you know, these ones are pretty good, but I'm going to show you how you can do it really quick. Now there's a couple different ways you can do this. One is if you just do it like this, you know, you can do it that way, and it's actually really good. You can do it with strawberries, blackberries, and then put peanut butter on the other side and just close it up, and that's a great way to do it. But some people want it a little bit more kind of like a jelly, and if that's the case, you know, it's really easy to do it this way. You just kind of mash them up. So let's say your kids aren't really kind of keen on the idea of having actual berries on it, and they still like kind of the jelly. So all you would do is kind of take your, whether it's strawberries or raspberries or blackberries, and kind of mash them up. You can also do this in a blender, and if you want. We're just trying to make it quick and easy in here. And let's say you like it a little bit sweet, and it's really easy just to take a little bit of honey. You can take some stevia if stevia is more your choice. Just take a little bit, and just kind of mash it up and stir it up that way, and just quick and easy this way. And then all you do is you're just going to take these, and depending on how chunky you like it or how creamy you like it, just depends, mash it up, and then you kind of have like a puree. So I'm going to take this one, take these off since we're not going to make it that way. And as you can see, it's kind of a little bit chunky. I like a little bit chunky berries in my preserves. And you can add more sweetener based on what you like. Again, it's all about controlling to make the way you like it. If you want less peanut butter, more peanut butter. There you go. Oops. There you go. Perfect. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So there you go, a healthy PB&J. So remember, a few tips is remember that when you're using the Pretty Freaking Awesome bread or the Pretty Dang Good bread, those are really dense. So you want to add more almond butter or peanut butter, whichever one you're using, and more of the jelly or the fresh berries, because that way it will taste more like what you're used to. Also, if you're trying to get your family to transition, you might want to start in baby steps. Instead of going from the horrible bread to the Pretty Freaking Awesome bread, you want to maybe move up to the next one. Horrible, then terrible, and then move up slowly, because that way it isn't so abrupt for them and they won't freak out. Also, you might want to try just changing the peanut butter or the almond butter and the jelly and keep the bread the same for a while, and then as they're getting used to that, then you start changing the bread. So baby steps, you know, we don't have to do everything all at once. And then also remember, you can adjust, if you're making fresh berries, you can adjust it to sweeter if you like, and then as time is going on, add less of whatever sweetener you use. There's a lot of different choices. If you don't like honey, you can use pure maple syrup, you can use stevia. There's a lot of different choices out there. We're going to list in the bottom of this video, you'll see we're going to list some of the different options that we have there, so it'll be easy for you to cross-reference. Make sure to go to our website and check out that article that gives you a list of all the breads that have some of the ingredients in there that we talked about today that you want to stay away from. So it's time for lunch. I'm going to eat my wonderful healthy PB&J, and we hope you like this video. Make sure to check out our website, eat2behealthy.com, and if you liked this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to our channel for more fun videos on Eat to Be Healthy. Thanks, see you next time.